What's good, classic gamers? It's Old School Fool, and it's time for Das Classic Review. As many of you might have known, WiiWare has been dropping some must-have classic titles that are just to die for, or maybe to suck your blood, or maybe to crack your whip, or maybe... Alright, well, you get the idea. So let's begin our review of Nintendo's latest DLC game, Castlevania Rondo of Blood. Now, I have been a Castlevania fan since a wee lad, and have played about every last Castlevania, including the old school arcade versions, and always felt no matter how they do it, on whatever platform, that Castlevania is just a great concept. Now, any game that stars Medusa heads, bloody spikes, whips, symphonic organ music, holy water, and the timeless Dracula is a game that I will play no matter what platform it's on. Now, Rondo of Blood was a Japanese TG16 game on CD that never really made its way to the States in its true form. Now, there was an adaptation of this game in the Super Nintendo later days called Castlevania X that was a fairly rare and welcomed addition to the Castlevania series. However, in all honesty, it pales in comparison to faithfully translate this monster of a game that is Castlevania Rondo of Blood. Now, in the opening alone, the game starts out in a narration in German with Japanese subtitles. Now, I thought that was kind of funny since that Transylvanians, are portrayed as really wide-eyed, anime-rific characters that later on speak full Japanese in the story cutscenes. I mean, it's kind of crazy, but hey, man, it's Konami. So, just to start this game is a total treat. You take control of good old Richter Belmont, and your ears are automatically invited to a great classic remix Castlevania soundtrack. Opening boss fights, and a bad attitude to whip some ass. Now, we all know about Castlevania games, so I won't go into long-winded details about the premise behind them, but I will point out a few key differences here. Number one, the control. The control is Castlevania 1 classic. No fancy whipping moves, just raw skill required, folks. However, you do get kick-ass powered-up sub-weapons a la Symphony of the Night style. But you don't have to do any crazy like shurikens or anything like that. Number two, this game has an overall darker feel, more along the lines of Castlevania Bloodlines for the Genesis. So expect to see large monolithic beast heads coming clear off, skin and bones melting square off, and none of that pussy SNES shit here. This is hardcore Japanese action. I mean, even when you beat the badass bosses, they still come at you with a final attack when they're about to die. I mean, it's just like crazy. You think you won it, and it's not over. This game will own you. So we come to number three. If you think you have played a hard Castlevania game, think again. I beast games like this, and honestly had a hard time in the middle of level 2. The opponents mix things up on you, and it's a total welcome by me. Like, I don't really mind the challenge, and some people might, but I feel like, hey, there's only 8 levels, so bring on the madness. Number 4, alternative routes make for somewhat non-linear gameplay. I mean, yeah, there's alternative routes, but they really, outside of, finding Maria and stuff, they're a welcome addition, but still totally cool. Now, number 5, the addition of Maria as an alternative playable character that at first can be laughed at with her, her dove throwing, her pretty princess kitties, and her crazy floor rolling. But let me say this. She would kick Richter's ass in a real fight. Just totally kick it. And then she'd probably place a nice little dove next to him. But she has some crazy styles here, and all I can say is that it's all good stuff. Now, so aside from all this greatness, what else is there? Well, there's the fact that, that this game is 900 Wii points. And I must say, there are very few times where I say, you know what, they re-released something and, I haven't played it before and you should get it. Well, I'm telling you guys, if you guys value my opinion on stuff, and I hope you do, I would totally give this game a whirl. This is 900 Wii points, and it's a total buy at that price. Especially since, from back in the day, this game used to probably cost between $50 and $70. And even today, by today's standards, if you try to collect this title, it's extremely expensive, and it's so hard to find. So gamers, if you like classic action, and you need to mix things up with a totally new, old-school experience, then I recommend that then give this game a total try. And I'm going to give this game an 85 out of 100. Alright, gamers, so this is Old School Fool giving you that old school goodness. Don't forget to check us out on DOSReviews.com. And also, don't forget to fan us on Facebook. That's right, we want to be a fan of you and a fan of me. Alright, so don't forget it. If you fan us, you also get cool stuff, cool contests, and, of course, the latest and greatest firsthand before anyone else. Alright, this is Old School Fool signing off. We'll talk to you guys next time. Peace.